Okay, I think you guys can see me. Hey, YouTube fam, bam. It's been a minute. I have not been on here in a minute, let alone live. So it's good to be live with you all. I hope you guys can hear me because I'm using the microphone from my computer versus my mic setup. I may have to get my ring light because I'm noticing that it is a wee bit dark. But I'm not going to be on here too long. I actually want to get into the topic discussing. So if you guys are already following me, you guys know me as Tahiri Divine. Sometimes I go by Diana, the metaphysical midwife, and I am here to talk about something that has been coming up a lot for me pretty much this whole year, last year too, more so. But let's just get into the conversation. The conversation today is talking about the rise of the divine masculine. For a lot of you all who follow me, I do talk a lot about the divine feminine, women per se. I focus a lot of my content and topic on women, and that's still what I'm going to be doing because I am a woman, I am a female, I'm an XX chromosome identified person or scientifically identified person, whatever, right? So that's always going to be the realm and scope of what I'm going to focus my content on. But this is something that needs to be discussed because as women are tapping into the divine feminine, learning more to trust their self and do their inner work, do their shadow work, do their healing, tapping into their intuitive gifts and building that connection, there is now a desire and a rise and a call to speak to our inner masculine. And it is only right as the divine feminine energy in us is rising and awakening and reawakening and getting stronger, it only makes sense for us to now start tapping into our inner masculine. Because when the divine feminine rises, the divine masculine will rise too. It is a symbiotic relationship between the two energies. And so what I want to preface this conversation is that I am not here to say I do not believe that women heal so they men. I do believe as women do focus on themselves and heal themselves, the men will follow suit. But I am not a proponent of women healing for the intent of getting a man or with the intent to heal a man. I believe that male, female have their own initiations that they must go through and have their own journey. And there are moments within the journeys are intersectional. And there's also moments when the journeys are just solo. And it's always a solo journey, but there's times of intersectionality that are crossovers that we do have. So I'm prefacing this is what I'm saying. So I'm talking about inner masculine. I'm talking about the divine masculine in us. Male, female makes no difference. We all have feminine energy. We all have masculine energy. But what's not talked and not have been discussed enough because we were focusing more so on reconnecting and reawakening the inner feminine energy is now let's talk about our divine masculine. Let's go into this topic today. What is the divine masculine? And from my understanding and from my working within myself or what it means, your inner masculine energy is the energy of trust. Do you trust it to stand firm in its boundaries? Do you trust yourself to not just defend yourself, but also to assert yourself? Do you stand up for what it is that not only that you believe, but how you show up? Do you give yourself the creative, energetic right to be who you are freely and protected? That to me is what it means to heal and rise in your inner divine masculine energy. There's been so many synchronicities just today alone. In my personal reading for myself in meditation this morning, that Healing Divine Masculine came in my reading. And then within an hour, Black Fire Nation, also known as Kamisha, Rev Kamisha, and then Gigi from I Live Aligned did a live together on Instagram and on Facebook discussing healing the divine masculine. And it had nothing to do with men per se, although we do talk about the men because we understand the men to be the physical embodiment of masculine energy. But I really believe that it is now time that women start healing their divine masculine energy and reshape and redefine what that is, or reconnect. That's the better word, reconnect with it. Because I know a lot of us are disconnected from our masculine energy. A lot of us are free flowing. A lot of us are intuitive. A lot of us are doing that. But what happens a lot of times, and I've had this personally happen to me too, and I have this shows up in readings and consultations that I do with the women, is that a lot of us don't trust ourselves to execute what it is that we know to be true for us. And there's this fear of not being able to support oneself, or maybe even the fear of not being able to trust that you are able to commit and devote yourself to the very thing that you say you are, right? So, in re-looking at masculine energy, we're looking at masculine energy from the perspective of, do I trust? Am I committed? Am I devoted? Am I discerning? Because masculine energy is discerning. Can I reason? Not so much logic, although logic is another trait of masculine energy, but do I have reason for what it is and why I do what I do and how I execute? So I'm going to be continuing this series for the remainder of this month, and especially in the month of June, because we have this very interesting transit that's coming in. Father's Day falls right around the summer solstice. And the summer solstice is when the sun is in its highest point, and we understand the sun to be the masculine energy, or we identify it in more modern astrology as masculine energy. I'm going to keep it right there before I go into my other thought process. Let's keep it right there. Let's keep it in that context of masculine energy, okay? So with that being said, it is the highest point, or the highest awakening, the highest shining of the sun happening around Father's Day. And there is a calling for a lot of us as women to connect to our Father energy, or Father God. And for a lot of us, like myself, I came from a very masculine-driven religion, Christianity. And when I got out of Christianity, I totally negated anything of the concept of Father God. I really needed to know more of who is Mother God, and what is the feminine, the divine, what is the divinity of the of femininity in womanhood? What makes me divine as female, as woman, right? So I needed to go through that journey. And now I'm being called back to reconnect with Father God energy, and to give myself a different perspective of him and a different relationship versus what was spoon-fed or force-fed to me in my religious upbringing. So this journey in the series of the Divine Masculine Rising is going to be tapping into reconnecting, redefining, relearning Father God energy, Divine Masculine energy, outwardly and inwardly, but because as within, as without. So this is what I'm excited to be talking about in the next few weeks. I'm actually really looking forward to how this energy is going to express itself and how it's going to show up. So I'm very open and allowing to this type of energy. Even within my own personal life, I'll share this, reconnecting with my father's lineage, because a lot of my work for the last few years has really been delving into my mother's lineage, and understanding the priestesses and shamans and healers and oracles of my mother's lineage. And not saying that I fully arrived in that either, because there's still more for me to dive in. But there is now a sprinkling or an inkling coming in saying, okay, you got a grip of this side. You got to understand this portion of it too, so that you can integrate this. You can't be all masculine or all feminine. You have to be the all one. And so that is what Mother Goddess is, actually. If you really go back into the Mother God energy, she is all one. She is both energies. She is both that. And calling it a she is the most best way to describe it, because she is all encompassing. But so Mother is calling us to reconnect with Father. Mother is calling us to connect to our inner masculine. And I'm looking forward to this series. So we'll be going live here on my YouTube channel. Or maybe I might have some videos just pre-recorded. We'll see how this plays out. Again, I'm open to allowance and how this thing's gonna ride out. But if you guys are not following me on my social sites, I will highly recommend you follow me as Tahiri Divine on my Instagram, on Facebook as 369. Of course, here, if you on YouTube, you follow me already, right? So make sure you hit that notification bell, like this, comment below. Tell me what has been coming up for you as it pertains to masculine energy, whether it's in the relationships that you're having with masculine identified people, or just even within yourself. What is being shown to you at this time, in this phase in your journey? So I'm looking forward to having that discussion with you all in the on the comment section. And definitely make sure you're hitting the notification bell so that you're notified when I am live here, so that we can continue to engage with each other. So I'm looking forward to this time and seeing what comes out of it. All right, guys. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you follow me on my social sites. Join my mailing list, tahiridivine.com is how you can join my mailing list, where you'll get exclusive content from me. And I'll actually be sharing information about my trip I had. I went on a retreat, and so I'm going to be sharing some insights that came to me specifically during this time. And some other great fun things that's coming out in the woodworks. Well, all right, loves, I love you, Divine Tribe. This is your girl, TK, also Tahiri Divine. Peace.